Well, hello you guys, welcome to The Corner, where we talk about anime, manga, and everything in between, and today we are going to be doing a My Theory Academia. And yes, it is exactly how it sounds. I am doing a theory about something. And that something today is going to be My Hero Academia and the secret for one for all. Let's get this theory started, shall we? Alright, this year we're going to be talking about Deku and his one-for-all quirk. Now we are trying to discuss the two characters that we do not get to see, that are not shown in any regards. They are blacked out figures in the background. Now the theory that I'm going to be stating out is a multiple of three. It's going to be three types of theories in general, but there's one theory that that seems a little bit more controversial than the others, and the one theory that just seems kind of ridiculous when you think about it. Now, there's a lot to be said about the one-for-all quirk and how it works, and that is it passes down abilities and perks from each and every person as time moves on. Whether this was intentional or not, it still ended up happening. The first user of one-for-all actually had this ability in mind, but he didn't know he had the ability in general to be able to pass it down and stuff like that. That is a very interesting aspect that came about a little bit later on when he realized, oh, I can pass down my quirk, which means he probably did it by accident in the first place. The whole situation that ends up happening is the brother wants to drive his other brother insane and blow on for the one all for one ends up trying to drive one for all insane and stuff. It's adding a stockpile quirk, and it doesn't work properly, and he ends up obtaining the ability himself to fight off all for one in the end. Now, there is a situation here where it could possibly, it's a high possibility here, this is theory one though, that the two users that we do not see and that are blacked out because they are the stockpile and all for one. Now, that being stated, it just means that that it would have been the person that had stockpile to all for one to one for all, making Deku have all for one, and the stockpile guy would be teaching him how to use stockpile better. So, that was one thought and theory and process when it comes down to it, but that's the beginning of the whole thing. That's just, hey, look, thinking about it, when does all for one truly start? Where does the ability itself start? When did it actually gain the abilities? Who are the users of the abilities and stuff like that? And when does it come into fruition? Now, the manga has stated that there are 9 people that have one for all, which would mean that the other 2 have to be within the lineage line instead. But is it that the manga is saying that there's 9, or is it saying that there are 9 in the one for all quirk itself that show up, which would relevate the fact that one for all for one and the stockpile perk would be the blacked out users in general. But if we go about the other aspects, which is Theory 2. Theory 2 comes into play here. Now, this one's the more reasonable one. This one is the one where you're thinking a little bit later on, a little bit as things move on. Now, somehow, One For All had to know that he had a secondary quirk, not just stockpile, a secondary one that he originally had. There had been a reason why he knew he could pass it down. And my theory on that one is because the next 2 were accidents. They were the first original 2 to get the quirk passed down to them. They were the accidental incarnates of One For All. He ended up accidentally passing it down, and once he accidentally passed it down to somebody else, which you wouldn't think would happen with One For All because you have to purposely do it. But maybe at one point he's like, I don't want this power. I just want to give it to somebody else, and he ends up giving it to the next person. And realizing he did that, he ends up finding the person, talking to him about it, and then they end up finding a more suitable person for the quirk itself to pass it down properly, so they could fight off All For One in the end, which would be the first two users, making them the prototypes of One For All and how the ability works in general, stockpiling and stuff like that. And looking at in this aspect makes it a little bit more interesting and puts a little bit more storyline behind the whole situation, making them the failures of One For All in general. They're the ones that, hey, this is a test now, we gotta test this out and see if this is actually how it works. Which, if that's the case, the two blacked out users would be people who have different abilities than we would normally expect. These abilities were probably something that they didn't think about for the first one, but didn't think about for the second one. And said what would be the best person to bring it back to, which would bring us back to the regeneration perk in general, because that would have helped with the stockpiling in the first place. That would have helped to repair damaged body parts and everything like that when it really comes down to it, and needed to be able to punch, so on and so forth. It wouldn't be too hard to do with the stockpile perk if they had that in general. So the second theory really comes down to the two blacked out are actually the two that weren't meant to have it, but ended up having it anyways. One was not meant to have it, and the second one was meant to have it, but they became the major prototype of the whole situation. So, learning about your quirk in an aspect where you accidentally give something off because you're like, no, just take it, I don't care, I don't want it anymore, I just want to give it away, if you want it, you can have it, type of situation, I can see that coming down to effect. I can see somebody being able to pass it off like that. But that would be the second theory of the whole situation, why they blacked out, everything like that, because they were people that don't really matter as much as the other ones in the line who knew what One For All was, what One For All could do, what it was supposed to possess, and where it would go from that point on, who they would have to fight, and so on and so forth. And it could also mean that those two are still alive, and that's why they're not blacked out, because they didn't really fully incorporate themselves into One For All in the first place, but they would still have their quirks in One For All passed down through the generations. So things would have still been initiated in that point and perspective. Now, with that being said, though, if that is a reality and a realization of the two black figures, that would make complete sense to what actually has been going on in the whole animated series and stuff like that in the manga itself. But we will go on with the crazy theory, the one where you're like, oh my god, that can't be true. That one's not even plausible type of situation. Now, with this one, we have to go back to a comment made, and it was, it's time to transcend time. Now, when it said it's time to transcend time, it's unlikely pointing out the fact that it's going to go back into the past and relevate with the other quirk users of One For All, and talk to them and get everything situated. But as you can tell, All Might doesn't really appear in the whole area at all. So the next two could be future One For All users instead. People that have yet not had the quirk yet, but will end up having it at some point in time, which would be the last two users of it. But that one's a long stretch, a long stretch. That one's like so far-fetched, it's not even funny. It's one of those things where it's like, I mean, if you really want to go out there on a limb and really grasp for that straw, go for it. Just grab it. They're future One For All users. That's why they're black, because they're not technically a part of the system yet, but they will be. Don't worry, they'll be there. Which wouldn't make too much sense, because if it doesn't get passed down after the 9th one, then that means something happens where it doesn't get passed down at all, or they don't need it anymore. thought process to go about the future timeline part, but I'm going to go more for the past and present type situation where they were the two users that one accidentally got it, and the second one was the actual supposed to be the actual successor of it. And it's possible that they're blacked out because they're still alive, because they hadn't actually died from use of the ability. They were there. They tested out, and one got sent up to one person by accident. Then that next person, he goes, okay, we need to pass it down to somebody that will be able to take care of it and make sure it's in a lineage situation where it's going to continue being passed down to better people and so on and so forth, which would have passed it on to the next person, just to make sure that it's getting stockpiled. And this would have been the training era of One for All. This would be the two people that were trying to maximize the potential of this ability. As they maximized it and decided, okay, I'm just going to pass it down to the next person that's ready for it, and pass it down to that person. That person's like, okay, so they start getting to it, and then they're like, okay, then all from one starts attacking again, and they're like, okay, we need to pass this down. We need to get to another person that can actually take form and make this actual reality, and they pass it on to the next person. The next person hops up, and they become the one that actually starts full-fledged going into there and dies from all for one, which means the second two abilities are possible. It's highly possible because of the whole what they show how All Might looks, that they are still alive and can still teach Deku how to use their quirks. So I'm actually more leaning towards that theory. That they were, the first one was a mistake, the second one was the actual successor of the whole thing, and then the third one, then they passed down to the third one who actually went and died with the ability, and the other two are still alive. So I'm going to go about that. I'm going to say that's where the series is going to go. That's where the series ends on, actually. That One for All's last two, the Dark Figures, are still alive and will still be teaching Deku how to use their moves in real life. He'll end up meeting up with them somehow, and they'll be like, "You're the new user. Let's show you how to use our abilities," because they're going to be the hardest abilities to learn. Because if it was regeneration, Deku would probably already been showing that by now. So, anyways. What do you guys think about this series? Do you guys enjoy it? Was I rambling too much? Was I going back and forth? I don't know. I tend to do these live scripted. I don't really script these stuff out. I tend to go on with what I have in my mind, go through it, and then go through the process with you guys on camera type of situation. So, I mean, it's a very interesting theory, and I've had it in the back of my mind for a while, and the only reason I thought I'd throw out the series is really just because of the fact that I had a theory a while back that I never posted, and I went when I went to go decided I wanted to do it and post it out. I found the next chapter of My Hero Academia came out, and my theory was proven right, and I was like, oh crap! Now if I post this theory, it's just gonna look like I'm yeah. It was one of those things where it was like, I can't post it now. I can't do it now. But either way, it worked out. It worked out in the end, and now we're doing this series, and I'm hoping that this is actually something that you guys think is kind of correct, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of going about it. If you guys did like the series, make sure you press that like button down below. On top of that, make sure you also, if you're new to here, press that subscribe button and hit the bell notifications to get notified about these later on. I will be trying to do these series, trying doing them once a week on Fridays, but I'm not too sure yet. I'm going to try and manipulating that as much as I can. It's all depending on if I can get a good theory going or if I cannot. So until the next time, you guys, I hope you guys have a great day and a fun one as well. Alright, you guys, I'm going to explain this real quick for you, though. Retro reviews are going to start being more of a once-a-week thing, not twice a week, so I don't remember another things to retro review quickly. We're doing the 2 episodes right now because of the fact that I'm going to do a premiere and a episode after, so you guys understand exactly how these retro reviews are going to be going down. I should explain this in the first one, but you know what? Yeah, it's fine. Anyways, yes, today we are doing Vendread because in my last video I did explain how Vendread has held up better than it, but Charles said it was a different story. Now, there is a reason for this, and everything like that. The anime itself is pretty well written when it comes down to it, and everything that really goes around it with the human society having to drift off and everything like that, and having a really dark background and story in the end. The aspect of it is that humanity has separated throughout the galaxy and stuff like that, which the universe and stuff like that, which you do not really get much of a reference to at the very beginning of the anime. It's more of a men versus women type of situation at the beginning, but if you give it the chance to go through the whole thing, you will understand there's way more to it than what it gives. It is a very ecchi anime, and for a anime of its age, is very well done in animation as well. It's almost like they took the animation and put it into a high budgeted area, but it wasn't even a high budgeted anime. The whole animation itself holds up to the animation we have now. It's not the 2D looking stuff, 2D looking anime, which you can tell is from the 90s. It's more of a bubbly animation that you would see nowadays, and how everything fits together and stuff. What you would see in most animes now. It's held up so well because of the animation. In general, the storyline obviously sounds old, but the animation itself keeps you coming back for more. Yes, this is also a tech type anime too, where they have to use machines to fight bad guys and stuff like that, but you know, it's not too big of a deal because they're mainly fighting themselves in the end. They're fighting their predecessors, their pre-evolutionary states, which is technically the evolutionary states, but that's not the point here because they're the evolved ones or did they de-evolve? I don't even know exactly how to explain this one because in the beginning, the humans have lost their ability to reproduce on Earth, so they spread out. And then they started being able to reproduce outward. So I don't know if it's just an environmental thing, or if it was literally an evolution to de-evolution back down, so they could reproduce again. But the biggest thing was that humanity was at stake, and they ended up flocking like roaches, stuff like that. But not the point here. The anime holds up very well for its age, is what I'm trying to get at. If you go back and watch it, you'll think, oh, I haven't seen this one before. Oh, this must be a newer anime because of how it looks. You just get into it, you're like, oh no, don't play, oh no, don't do that. Anyways, but yes, it's one of those animes, it's just, it's meant to survive the ages, and in the day of age where ecchi seems to be a big thing that they've been going to with in-depth storyline along with it, and just having fun with it, this anime is actually pretty perfect to go alongside of our current anime situation as well. So honestly, go back, rewatch this one. It is a complete series, and it goes all the way to the end. If I remember correctly, it goes all the way to the end, like very end, where they finish everything off, blah blah blah, and they are happy ending type situation. But yeah, so you can easily binge watch this without much of a problem. Anyways, you guys, if you guys want to watch it, do so. Make sure you take it with a grain of salt, because you're going to hit a lot of ecchi. A lot of ecchi. I watched this as a teenager. A lot of ecchi. Was I a teenager or was I a kid? Actually a child. I don't remember. I just remember watching it on Action. Anyways, that's not the point here. Anyways, you guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed this retro review. If you guys have been enjoying these retro reviews, make sure you press that like button. And on top of that, if you are new here and you have gotten really interested in these retros, make sure you also press that subscribe button and that follow button, that bell button. That way you will get notified about all of this. But anyways, you guys, I hope you guys have a great day. And a fun one as well.